country, because today the entire country is much more globally aware. They want to join with what is happening in the rest of the world. And G20 has given them today the possibility of doing that. The third is, of course, politics, because finally politics, that is, मेरा धंधा तो वही है ना. तो जब बाहर जाते हैं तो पॉलिटिक्स की बात होती है. और आज जो है, बहुत ऐसे देश हैं जिनको लगता है कि दुनिया में जो दुनिया की स्थिति जो है, खासकर छोटे देश जो हैं, और कुछ देश जो छोटे भी ना हो, उनको महसूस होता है कि वो दबाव में है, कि जो शक्तिशाली देश जो हैं, जो विकसित देश जो हैं, वो अपने हित के लिए दूसरों को उनकी नीति बदलना चाहते हैं. उनको कहते हैं कि भाई इस मुद्दे पे आपको यही करना चाहिए. तो दुनिया में ये भावना है विकासशील देशों में ज्यादा कि आवर्स इंडिपेंडेंस ऑफ चॉइस, आवर्स सॉवरेनिटी, वी हैव टू प्रोटेक्ट दैट. एंड दैट टुडे इज अगेन अ प्लेस वेयर इंडिया इज गिविंग लीडरशिप. एंड आई कैन टेल यू द सेम फीलिंग that we in India have, I also saw in Uganda. जो the kind of sentiment, हम लोग कभी कभी कुछ कह देते हैं, आप जानते हैं, but the same almost I would say sentiments that desire that independence streak, I also saw here. So this is today also something which is bringing us together, and I mention it because this year, at the end of this year, beginning of next year, Uganda will also take up a very important responsibility. Like we have taken on the presidency of G20, Uganda will take on the presidency of the non-aligned movement. And I have promised to the Ugandan government, to the president, that India will do everything in its power to support a successful presidency of the non-aligned movement by Uganda. So ये संक्षिप्त में जो भी मेरी बातचीत जो यहाँ हुई, मैंने सोचा कि मैं आपके साथ, आपको तो जानना ही चाहिए, आप लोग यहाँ रहते हैं, तो आपको कम से कम जो भारत और युगांडा के बीच में जो भी हो रहा है, जो बातचीत हो रही है, जो रिश्ते जो बढ़ रहे हैं, उसके बारे में जानकारी होनी चाहिए. तो मैं आपको थोड़ा घर के बारे में भी बता देता हूँ, क्योंकि मुझे पता है कि आप वो भी जानना चाहते हैं. सबसे पहले तो मैं कहूँगा कि आप पता नहीं आप लोग माने कितने महीने में घर जाते होंगे. 6 महीने में तो जाते होंगे ना, साल में तो जाते होंगे ना. हम आप 2 years नहीं, 2 years तो ज्यादा है. तो चलिए एक चीज मैं आपको बताऊं. अगर आप मेरे से पूछेंगे कि घर की क्या खबर है, तो मैं कहूंगा कि मूड बहुत पॉजिटिव. जो वो डायलॉग था ना कि हाउ इज द जोश, so जोश इज वेरी हाई, and जोश is very high for very good reasons. First, people in India, because just think last 3-4 years, wherever you are in the world, 2 years for every one of us went in COVID. You know, there is not, I think in any country, anybody who said I am unaffected by COVID. Either we got COVID या कोई नजदीक, कोई परिवार में हो, कोई दोस्त हो, कोई पड़ोसी हो. So 2 years of COVID, then all these other problems, these economic problems which have come out, partly because of this Ukraine conflict, but other problems also. So if you look at the state of the world is actually very tough. But if you come to India, the mood is good because people feel today that we have come through COVID. Yes, we came through at a great cost. But I must tell you, the national self-confidence which came out of dealing with COVID, which came of the fact that we could set up very quickly COVID centers, that a country, when COVID first came, हम लोग तो कुछ भी नहीं बनाते थे. मुझे उस समय प्रधानमंत्री उन्होंने एक ग्रुप खड़ा किया कि 4-5 मंत्री थे जिनकी जिम्मेदारी थी कि वी मॉनिटर कोविड, वी वुड रिपोर्ट टू हिम एवरी डे. मैं उसमें से सदस्य था. एंड व्हेन वी लुक्ड कि भाई देश में कितने मास्क बनते हैं, कितने पीपीई बनते हैं, कितनी वेंटिलेटर बनती है, वेरी ऑनेस्टली हम तो घबरा गए. आई मीन यू एक्चुअली सॉ हाउ लिटिल वाज मैन्युफैक्चर्ड इन इंडिया, एंड येट विद इन अ मैटर ऑफ वीक्स, मंथ्स, you actually saw what is the real spirit of India. And we were able to set up COVID centers in thousands. We were able to produce medicines for ourselves, even for the world. उस समय आपको याद होगा, there was one medicine called hydroxychloroquine. और दुनिया में कहीं वो खबर फैल गई थी that this is very very good treatment for COVID. There was a huge global demand. We were able to meet that demand. So and then when vaccination came, there were countries who did not have vaccines. There were countries who had vaccines but वो vaccination कर नहीं पाए. They did not have a scheme, they did not have a system. Then there were countries जो vaccination कर पाए, वो आपको certificate दे नहीं पाए. So these were all the challenges of COVID. And the Indian public saw we could make vaccines. We could have made in India vaccines, we had invented in India vaccines, we had a system of vaccination, वो COVID platform बना था, where everybody got their certificate also. And it was done in a very, very systematic way. And every time there was a crisis, you saw government could raise the level of its response very much higher. So, though it has been a very painful period, I must say that the COVID experience actually has resulted today in a nation feeling that yes, we are India, we are capable of things, we can in many ways lead the world in many areas. So that is why today that sense of we can do something, this is very very strong. The second is actually economic. Because again, there are many countries in the world where they are struggling with their economy. Even developed countries are having a very tough time. But in India, we are today the largest of the large economies. We have the highest growth rate which India will see. We'll see this year, we will see in the coming years. And this is not just a growth rate. It is also backed by we have had the highest ever exports. Just few days ago, Piyush Goyal ji announced that our exports for the first time have crossed $750 billion. We are also attracting the highest ever FDI, the foreign investment flowing into India. We are the #1 FDI destination in the world. And for a country where for many years we did not give attention to manufacturing, today even that has changed. And the example which people talk about is actually Apple. That iPhone, which was made in another country for many, many years. Today the new iPhone is made in India at the same time as it is made in India. So these are two examples. But the real change is not only out of COVID, it is not only out of just the economy. It is actually the change we have seen 10 years of change, 9 years coming on to 10 years. A change in the leadership, change in the vision, change in the commitment, and change in the delivery. And I will tell you why. During COVID, medical, health, vaccination,